My name is Paulam, and I have IgA nephropathy. When I received my diagnosis in 2012, my doctor told me about IgA nephropathy and told me that it was an incurable kidney disease. To hear those three words, incurable kidney and disease, in one sentence was a punch to the gut, really. I didn't know what to think. My wife and I had been married for 3 years at that point. We were talking about starting a family. And honestly, to start a family when you're given a diagnosis such as that and you don't know if you have a long timeline or a short timeline. It was devastating, but there is ways to manage and monitor that. I had elevated hematuria as well as proteinuria in my blood and urine tests, as well as fatigue. My sleep was impacted, which resulted in fatigue throughout those years leading up to my diagnosis. Post-college, I really said, hey, I need to figure this out. I was referred to a nephrologist, and ultimately a kidney biopsy was recommended to confirm the diagnosis of IgA nephropathy. There's always in the back of my mind disease progression and the quality of life impact as well as kidney degradation. And so I have to be very conscious about the activities that I get involved in, as well as the food and drinks that I intake and consume. I think the biggest thing for me is disease progression and the impact that it could have on not only myself, but my immediate family, my wife, and two children. If this led to end-stage renal failure, I would be devastated, and I know my kids would be devastated as well. Emotionally, in the back of my mind, I'm always wondering, is it going to progress, and when is it going to progress? Because it very likely will. It usually is in the form of sleep deprivation, which then results in fatigue. The fatigue, being able to manage and monitor that is something that I try to do. And my wife, being an elementary school teacher, she has helped me with that patience bit, leaving before my time is up. I don't want that. My kids are 12 and 10, and there's a lot to be done for them and with them, and I would not want to impact their lives. And as well as, my wife and I have plans and goals. I think about the other patients that struggle with IgA nephropathy and really hoping that those individuals are able to find a therapy or a cure that helps them live longer, helps them live with their families and their caregivers. The conversation my wife and I had prior to starting a family was, will this incurable kidney disease, IgA nephropathy, impact my ability to be a father for my child or children at that time? We had decided that because I was only in stage 1, stage 2, that there was longevity that we assumed, and that it within for myself, and that we would put my health and my management and monitoring of this as a priority. And so with that, we said, let's go ahead and start a family, and they will be my legacy, essentially, moving forward if something were to happen to me. to the scientific community, to those companies that are progressing therapies and medicines that will curb the symptoms and or find a cure to IgA nephropathy, thank you. You keep not only the patients that have this diagnosis hopeful, but also the families and the caregivers that are experiencing this alongside those patients. So thank you. What keeps me hopeful is the awareness and education that is starting and is growing around kidney disease in general, but specifically IgA nephropathy. My family, they are a constant reminder of why I've been put on this earth. It is to help them and help them achieve their objectives. Since IgA nephropathy is something that the patient deals with without others knowing, it is considered an invisible disease. And with that comes sometimes suffering in silence, right? Because others don't fully recognize what you're dealing with. Many times I can have a full night's rest and still wake up tired and fatigued. And for those that don't know about IgA nephropathy may not be fully empathetic to that fact. Be hopeful, be understanding that things may not happen as quickly as we'd like, but to ensure that you never give up. Regardless of what happens, whether good or bad, it's, never ever give up. And so I would impart that wisdom or that saying onto anyone dealing with IgA nephropathy. I would recommend to continue to stay abreast of companies that are progressing clinical trials, that are researching these, and to either get involved or be aware of, at a minimum, of what these medicines and therapies can do, not only for your patients, but also patients that may not have a diagnosis at this point. I see myself every day as a survivor with an incurable kidney disease. Although some days could be good, some days could be bad, it's about persevering, not only for yourself, but for your friends and family, and continuing day after day, even when it doesn't seem like you should. If there was a therapy or a medicine that could freeze the stage of IgA nephropathy that a patient is in, I believe that would be phenomenal. I think that would allow not only the patient, but also the caregivers and the friends and family that support that individual to have hope, to plan 5, 10 years, 15 years down the line, their lives without having to worry about, hey, am I going to survive till then? It provides them not only hope, but also a way to plan for the future as well.